Hi, this is Andres Viarge, and today I'm not going to tell you about the latest AI trend or any of those tools that are out there and are promising a horse and delivering a donkey, or as we say in Spain, they are selling you smoke. No, today I want to show you the hidden potential that probably you don't know about the Microsoft 365 offering. So if you are already paying, as you probably are, those Microsoft 365 licenses, there's a lot of potential there that you don't know about, and this video will tell you about that. And if you are coming from Google Workspace, well, I do also have that background, and just stay in the video to show what you are missing out. Before moving forward, the first thing I think we need to work on is getting rid of this anxiety and this FOMO around AI, the latest trends, etc. And I'm putting all these 5 logos in the picture, and there are other zillions of AI tools. But let me ask you a question. How many of the AI tools that are out there selling you those promises that are impossible to fulfill will really be there in 1 year, in 3 years, in 5 years? Are you going to bet your business, your department, your processes in tools that are probably not going to last 1 year, as we are already seeing? The good side of the coin is that all this FOMO at least is moving the conversation again towards automation. Because in the end, all those promises are not AI magically doing things, but really business process automation. And here, well, I've been talking about that in my channel for already, I think, it's 2 years. But the technologies I'm going to talk about in this video are have been there longer than 10 years. So in the end, my unsolicited advice is focus on solving one real problem and start there, with or without AI. Don't focus on AI. Start just focusing on automation and trying to improve your processes. And let me introduce you to the problems that those people telling you about these magic AI tools are not telling you about. And it's not only about that having more tools involves more complexity, more risk, and more overhead, but also some real and strategic IT related problems that are going to bite you longer. And once you are there, it's going to be very hard to get rid of those problems. So let's start with identity management. And identities are not only the users that we have, user password to log in into a service, but also your devices, such as your laptop or company phone. Now, what you would expect from an IT infrastructure perspective is that you can centrally manage those identities, meaning that you can reset a password if needed centrally in case, for example, an identity has been compromised. Or you can set up single sign-on, so the same identity, same, let's say, email and password double you use to log in into all the services. Or you can configure MFA, multi-factor authentication, which is that service when you log in with user and password, you are also asked for a code from your cell phone or one of those providers of multi-factor authentication authorities. So if you have all those 28 different AI tools, each one with their own identity, with their own user and password, what's your risk going to be like? Not only in terms of the overhead of your users having to remember all those different passwords, or worse, using the same password for everything because it's so hard to remember all those that many passwords, but also the risk of not being able to apply those measures for identity management. Second, let's talk about security risks. And this is about your data, but not only your data as a company, your proprietary data and IP, but also the data related to your customers or providers. Because every time that you're uploading that Excel file with finance statements or any other information, documents or prompts into those AI tools, you need to be sure that this is handled in a secure manner and not accessed by third parties that you don't consent to. Imagine what happens when you use that Chinese tool, DeepSeek, or any of those, and you got some not so friendly guys looking at your data. Third point would be governance, and this buzzword is really an important topic because imagine, for example, what happens when you have many automations done with AI. You want to have an overview, an inventory of all those applications, those automations. Why? Because, for example, what happens when you have duplicate processes, or once one guy who has created one of those processes leaves the organization, what happens? Does that the process still run? What do you do with that identity? Or if the person leaves the organization or is just on vacation and that process stops working, how can you handle that? Fourth risk is compliance. And compliance um, is not only GDPR like in the EU, but also any other thing that you have to comply to. For example, if you work with the government, with the DoD, with um, if you are in certain industries like pharma or financial institutions, you need to comply to certain regulations, and this includes the IT tools that you use. And last, license, because if you're using that many AI tools, you have different problems here in terms of licensing. First, you are managing lots of licenses, so the chance you are optimizing the number of licenses at any given time is very slim. But also, let's be honest here, are all those AI tools that different? Or there's plenty of overlapping functionalities? So are you really paying for what you are being promised? Because if you're using ChatGPT for this, Cloud for that, DeepSeek for the other thing, then N88 for the other stuff, then you're piling up different licenses and costs, and there's a lot of overlapping functionalities there that, okay, maybe you are not getting the best thing for this particular kind of prompting, but do you need to really care about also balancing the features with the costs? So to solve all these problems, let me introduce you to the Microsoft 365 ecosystem. And first, let me thank you, Arash Gajani, for preparing this diagram for the community. I really appreciate it. It's great. Thank you. So here you have, and this is not all the tools, the logos that represent the majority of the Microsoft 365 ecosystem grouped by functionality. And if you are thinking, well, I don't know half of these logos, well, that's exactly the point I want to make, is that you are probably not using the Microsoft 365 ecosystem, your licenses that you're already paying, to its potential. So let's do a brief overview, because me myself, I don't use all of them. It's impossible. So let's start security, identity security and compliance. Well, you've got the professional set of offering here. Dynamics 365, this is the ERP and the CRM that Microsoft offers. Power Platform, this is the technology where I am an expert in, and I will talk about later in this video. And this allows you to create your own apps and automations with or without AI, completely customized, 100% tailored. Microsoft Fabric, this is an evolution of Power BI that allows you to gather information instead of data and aggregate that in a single data lake for all your organization, data that can come from any source. The Microsoft 365 apps, which are the most common that you probably already know, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, etc. The collaboration tools, which are OneDrive, Teams, SharePoint, which is a full document management system, among other things, planner, project for managing tasks and projects, and Microsoft Viva, which is the HR set of tools that Microsoft offers, and all infused with AI, with Copilot, and the Microsoft Graph. Microsoft Graph allows you to extend and connects, it's interconnecting behind the scenes all these myriad of tools. So now I'm in inside SharePoint, and you see here that I have plenty of tools, but I can go to more apps and navigate to the whole app offering that I have included with my license, and see how many of apps I have available, tools for different purposes. And I don't have the whole bunch, because I'm not paying for all the licenses, because you can stack more, of course. Some tools need specific licenses, of course. But that's not only it. If you Google out Microsoft compliance offerings, you'll see all the offerings, all the complaints that Microsoft fulfills in terms of, for example, global, like ISO 27001, in terms of security, globally the US government, per industry, and regional, even the GDPR for the EU, or ANS for the equivalent in Spain. But in the end, if the Department of Defense of the United States is relying on Microsoft, then I think it's safe that we as businesses also rely on this tech. And now let me introduce you to Microsoft Power Platform, the part of the ecosystem where I'm an expert in. And this set of tools, what allows you to do is build your own applications and automations with or without AI, completely tailored, 100% customized to fulfill your needs. And why does this tech beat any other competitor in the market in terms of low code, no code automation and apps creation? Well, this is based on the dynamic CRM, or rather, it's the other way around. What Microsoft did is separate the product dynamic CRM from the platform and the tech which is used to build the product, and that tech is Power Platform. So we have the same tools that Microsoft has used to build dynamic CRM, meaning that we have the same robustness, the same security architecture, and all the other things that makes this a great tool, enterprise grade and ready. Now we also have a tool for every challenge. As you can see in this image, we have different tools that range from creating tailored apps, fully customized, to automation in the cloud that can integrate with any system that you have, or even using RPA, robotic process automation, when you don't have an API to connect to, it will mimic the actions that you do in your own laptop. Of course, the Power Platform is integrated with the whole Microsoft ecosystem, meaning that actions like when I receive an email that has attachments, then go get those attachments, analyze it with AI, do some action, then store it in a SharePoint folder. All that is the kind of automations that you can easily do with the Power Platform, because the thing is that it's completely integrated with the ecosystem. And more importantly, this is all in the cloud, meaning that you don't need any IT infrastructure. You don't need to manage any servers, any certificates, any VMs, whatever. And also, the cost of development and the speed of development is very, very much higher than hiring a bunch of programmers. Why? Because these are no-code, low-code tools, meaning that a professional with sufficient experience can build your solutions very quickly, and it's going to be very robust by design, because this is the tech used by Microsoft to build Dynamics. And although you can see more examples in my YouTube channel where I show AI and not AI based automations and apps in more depth, let me show you a couple of different applications that are built with the Power Platform. And this is the case for service management application for an elevator company, where you have here, this is a Power BI that is reading the servicing data in real time. Then we have some case management capabilities and scheduling using drag and drop, for example. And this is completely customized using the Power Apps technology. So here you can use drag and drop to schedule a maintenance service, for example. And here you have, let me show you an application that gets incoming images received via email in a shared mailbox, processed with AI, and then has a whole process that goes from this AI processing to human review, then the approval, this is where we are at right now, and then payment and SharePoint archival, which is getting that invoice and putting it to a proper folder for document management. And not only you can see typical form and this business process, but also be the whole process in detail in BPM notation. So you're actually building a diagram that is representing this process, and you can see in real time where we are at each part of the process. I hope I've done a good job showing you the hidden gems inside the Microsoft 365 ecosystem and showing you the potential that that has for your team, your business, your department, and not only in terms of how to optimize or improve your processes, your ways of working, but also how to simplify your IT ecosystem. And with that, let me finish by calling you to action. Start small, start building your automations, start learning how to use these tools that are your allies to make your life easier and be your competition. And whenever you need to hire professional services from people like me at the company, I work in B2B consulting, my own consulting firm. Get involved in those projects. Don't delegate the thinking. Take ownership of the process, because no matter how expert I am, or any service provider that you hire is, you need to get involved in the project, otherwise it will never succeed. And last, use robust technology with a proven track record that is not going to disappear in a couple of years, and it's comprehensively enough in terms of the IT capabilities and the functionalities that doesn't introduce all the problems that we've seen in the beginning of the video. And with that, Thank you very much. Have a great day ahead and see you in the next one.